Shalom, Akim. I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kadash. That honors the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the Akim in all four corners of the earth who's pushing the truth and sincerity. Shalom, Akim. Want to get into our boy Trump, man. You know, Trump is going to divide not only America, but his own so-called allies, you know. The ones, his own NATO is getting ready to fold in on them. You know, NATO was upset about Trump playing or even just mentioning invading Greenland. You know, Greenland is supposed to be taken care of. You know, it's a property of Denmark. So, and these countries are part of the UN. They're part of the NATO agreement. I should say, Slovakia, the NATO agreement. You know, NATO has a pact with European countries. You know, Ukraine wants to be a part of NATO, but they're not. NATO used Ukraine to put those rockets in there, and now they're getting supersonic missiles coming from the sky raining down on their ass. But that's another story. But this one right here has got Trump. You know, they've been telling him to cool out, man. Cool out, man. Trump's on the road, man. He's on another level as far as his, you know, what he wants to do, you know, in these different countries and taking over stuff, man. You know, but it says Republican leaders push back on Trump's openness to using the military to take Greenland. You know, and like I said, I seen the news articles and stuff on news where the European leaders were very upset about that, man. Just to even thought of that, man. You know, and they were just saying, like, just for you even thinking like that, if you even thought of, if you put a troop over there, you know, we're gonna pull out of NATO, you know. And Trump at the same time is telling them, hey man, y'all ain't been paying y'all dues, y'all ain't been putting up money for these wars. He's like, hey NATO, I'm ready to pull out of NATO myself. I'm ready to what did he say? He wanted to pull NATO apart, you know. He said, because they ain't doing nothing. That's what Trump says. But yeah, man, like the scripture say, man, the earth, let me go to that. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he, man? You know? So yes, wicked goes out, you know, going to see what they can do and what wickedness upon the earth they can do. Why does Trump want Greenland so bad? Well, Greenland has a lot of natural resources there. You know, there's a lot of minerals there. You know, and Trump's saying that he wants to use it as a military strategic point. We used to be called the what do they call the House of defense something, Office of Defense or something to that effect. Now it's called the Office of War. Trump is all about war. You know, the only thing that's on his mind is war, man. You know, but yeah, so he's over there in Denmark. I mean, he's over there trying to get Greenland, and Denmark is pressing back against him, you know, as well as other European countries telling him, like, man, you got to fall back, man. You're just losing your mind right now, man, you know. But America is a bully right now, man. They're in all four fronts of the world, man, when you think about it, man. They got garrisons all over the place, man, you know, and these countries are rebelling against that, man. This is, these countries are rebelling against America's control, man. Bring this out. This is because at the same time, like I say, NATO, they have a pact together, and they share bullets, they share weapons and stuff to that nature, and money for the most part. But you know, Trump has been on NATO's ass, saying that they ain't been covering their dues, they ain't been putting troops where they're supposed to be putting troops. I'm sending more troops from America, then y'all need to start sending troops from Europe. So his whole thing is, you know, he's trying to divide stuff, man. In Mark 3:25, and if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand, you know. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end, man. And right now, you know, one of the things he's trying to crush is that NATO, and we're slowly but surely seeing the crush of America too as well, you know. These different countries, you know, they're seeing how crazy Trump is, and they're also seeing the weakness, man, in it as well, man. You know, because they see he's just full of greed, man. You know, he's full of greed. But like I say, like I know that those he's surrounded by a bunch of yes men, and if they're not yesing him up, then they get kicked off his cabinet. Plain and simple, man. You know. It says, let me go. This is Obadiah 1, and I'm gonna start at 3. I'm gonna start at 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, though thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? It's just not speaking about Trump and his Edomite cronies, you know. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou sit thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how are they cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the gate gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up, man? All the men of thy confederacy have been bought, even. It's like Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have bought thee, even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, man. Wow, man. This is straight to the point about DJT, man, you know? Because he's the one stirring up all this trouble, man. But at the end of the day, we know it's the leaks that are over him. That he's just doing his job as being the face of everything, but still, you know, he's doing a wicked job. And these all the men of that confederacy have brought up the border to the border. You know, we were at friends with, like I said, with the NATO pacts and stuff like that, man. Now they're wanting to renege, man, because Trump is out of control right now, man. Yeah, he's stepping on some big toes over there, man. Greenland was the symbol of peace for the longest, man. When I was coming up as a kid, you know, you always heard about Greenland, and I'm like, what was the significance of it? It was just, you know, that was just a land where, you know, where it was so beautiful and peaceful and stuff. You know, and come to find out, it's more than just a land and it's beautiful and peaceful. It's got minerals, it's got resources, it's got things that Trump wants there, you know? As well as he claims that he just wants to set up a military base, but we know it's more into it, you know? Let me continue. This is Obadiah 1 and 8. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? You know? So all these wise men and things that they think they know, NATO is telling them to fall back. Do not try to invade this Greenland area. Fall back, man. You know? But Trump is being who he is and he's full of pride, you know. Who knows, man? You know, only time will tell. He's been stirring up this rhetoric this week, you know, and he likes to do things on Fridays and Mondays, so we'll see, man. Today's Friday. Let me start at, this is Ecclesiastes 14, and I'm going to start at 1. Blessed is the man that have not slipped with his mouth and is not pricked with multiple of sins. Blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. Riches are not comely for a niggard, but what should an envious man do with money? He that gathereth by defraud his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods righteously. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods, man. You know, Trump ain't gonna take pleasure in these goods, man, because these countries are telling him it ain't gonna happen, man. You know, even though he's spread out to all four corners of the earth, he's still, you know, they telling him to fall back, man. This is Ecclesiastes 14 and 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth unwilling, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. You know, so once again, Trump's wickedness is being put on Front Street, man. You know, his whole house is divided. You know, I would love to see what the UN Council would say about this, him trying to take Greenland, but I want to say the UN Council is in New York, so they probably won't say anything because it's best to be on his good side, because my man has the type of attitude, well, he'll fire you in a second or even put you in jail. Look, he started putting on some of those guys who all they did was ran against him. He started turning on them, man, you know? But yeah, Trump is, just pointing out more things he's doing, and his Greenland situation rubbed them the wrong way. They were upset about that, and they wasn't trying to let that rest for nothing. I'm talking about them NATO boys, and Denmark and them European boys that found out what Trump was trying to do. But with that being said, up, this is edifying. Shalom, Akim.